key is if you want to do something, just do it.
Yeah.
Don't let people around you say that's not for you, because how do they know?
First of all, thank you so much for being a part of this project. I just want to tell you a bit about why I'm doing it and why it means so much. But throughout my career, I've met and been inspired by some amazing women in business, and they've kind of given me the mentorship and the guidance to make me who I am today. And particularly as I'm a mum of a 14-year-old daughter, I want to show her and my other children that success is definitely achievable. You can kind of be a mum, a wife, a sister, a family member, a friend, fit it all in, but still be amazing at the job. You can juggle it. So it's just showing her that success is achievable through diversity, and business now is essential. And so basically that's why I wanted to do this, and I've had some amazing people involved. So do you want to kind of introduce yourself, Leah, and tell us a bit about your background?
I will. So I'm Leah Spears, and thank you so much for having me, and happy Valentine's Day.
I know.
So happy Valentine's, we should say. I know. So I'm currently the head of brand strategy at Paddy Power. I've been here 3 years now, and I've got to say it is the most fantastic place that I've ever worked. And like, talking about female leadership, my CMO, Michelle Spillane, I'm obsessed with her. Oh. She is probably, for the first time in my life, somebody who I completely look up to and respect. Great that she's also a woman. But she is unstoppable, and she's just the most brilliant role model to everyone in our business. I just want to be her when I grow up. And so I'm in an incredibly fortunate position right now in my career where I have got such a strong female leader to look up to. And like I say, probably for the first time in my career. That's not to say that I haven't had inspirational leaders. And I think part of the celebration of International Women's Day is probably around some of the guys that help you 100%. On your trajectory as well in your career. Because, I've had brilliant male leaders. I've also had not so brilliant female and male leaders. So, I think celebrating the guys as well as the girls on International Women's Day is something that's really important to me.
100%. And I've just said to you before filming is that the first time I met you, obviously was over like a Teams, and your energy and what comes off, and I was like, I need Leah to be a part of this project, because even if it's not face to face, I think it just shows, doesn't it? And I think if you're really happy and it shows that you absolutely love your job, and the energy that comes off, so amazing. I'm sure your staff feel the same about you, and I'm sure you're an inspiration to a lot of people you've met as well.
I really hope so. It's something that I do try to be, and I think that throughout my career, I've just tried to be myself, and I think that's super important. There have been times where, as I've been growing up and maturing into roles, I felt like I needed to be something else, and you just can't maintain that, actually. I think your true personality is always going to come through, and I have had a lot of feedback around who I am, how that makes people feel, that energy. And do you know what? Even if technically I've not been able to do a job at some point, I think the energy and enthusiasm, ambition, support for other people in the team is the thing that's kind of got me through, and that's what I get off on, actually. Yeah. I love bringing that energy. And that can be quite draining sometimes, actually, always being that person. But it's something that has definitely helped me progress in my career.
100%.
So yeah,
I totally hear you, because I was exactly the same. I mean, I came into this job that I'm doing, and people are like, you're meant to be, because you are enthusiastic, and people like, obviously buy people, they don't care about necessarily the product sometimes, it's the person that's behind it and who believes in it. So I totally agree with everything
I'm
you
lucky
say.
as well, like the career that I'm in marketing, right? And that essentially is entertainment.
Yeah.
So, I'm getting out of bed every single day to give people a smile, entertain people. I'm in their homes, I'm on their phones, etc. Like, I'm not saving anybody's life in my role. And so I am so fortunate that that's what I get to do day in, day out. And yes, there's like bits of stuff that you don't want to do in your job. Of course there is. That, could be a little bit dull, and there's admin, and you have to do your expenses, and, you have to do like normal things. But ultimately, I'm here to entertain people. And so that is like, I am so lucky. Like,
dream job.
It is. It's a dream job. And I've got a dream team around me to be able to pull that off as well.
Love that. So I'm just going to go in to ask you a few questions now then. So looking back, did your career unfold as planned, or has it evolved more organically?
So when I was a kid, I wanted to be a stunt person. I'm obviously not that now, so I would definitely say that my career took a very unusual zigzag. But I did really want to get into TV production, so I think that kind of stuntman element was that behind the scenes on a film set. You know, when you see everything working, I really, really wanted to be in TV, never on TV. That was never my thing. And I used to watch, like, I don't know who'll remember this now, but there was a program called The Clothes Show.
Oh, yeah, I remember The Clothes Show.
And it had Jeff Banks on it, and I really wanted to make that program. Like, I just really wanted to do that. And so anyway, I got into production eventually, but it was definitely... You know, I didn't really know how to do it back then.
Yeah.
You didn't really know how would you get in like TV, like in the 90s.
Exactly.
Like you just had no idea as a kid, did you? So yeah, I always said that's what I wanted to do. I wasn't hugely academic at school, I wouldn't say. And I went in to do A-levels and I did like fine art, I did film, I did graphics, I did fashion promotion. You know, I just was trying a lot of different creative industries, and then ultimately ended up in marketing quite soon in my career, and have spent 20 years in marketing. So and just stayed there, but. It's very different from a stuntman.
Yeah, very different, very different. But you've obviously got that creative personality, and I think I feel like I'm creative, and I know Callum is creative as well. And I feel like, you are that way. That's kind of the job you want, isn't it? It makes you a dream job, as we've just said.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it. And I think that, you know, people shouldn't feel like they have to go down a particular path. I know that when I was younger, I got a lot of feedback, especially the school that I was in was a very academic school. It was an all-girls school. And they did try to veer me off the path of doing what I wanted to do. And I felt quite isolated in that, but I was quite stubborn, really. And I think that's the key is if you want to do something, just do it.
Yeah.
Don't let people around you say that's not for you, because how do they know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, how do they know? And, you know, teachers at school be like, but you're so smart and you could be this and you could be that. Yeah, could be, but I don't want to be.
Absolutely.
So...
And you want to prove them wrong in a way as well.
You do want to prove them wrong. I've definitely got that competitive spirit in me for sure, and it's a bit of a rebellious spirit. And actually, I think that's probably what suits me now in Paddy is there's a mischievous spirit in me, and you know, you always wanted to do the stuff that nobody else can do at Paddy. So
amazing.
I'm definitely suited to where I am now for sure. Even at Asda was the same when I was there. You know, it was the cheeky one out of the supermarkets. So I was there a long time because that rebellion in me,
I love
definitely suited it.
Love it, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I mean, we have just touched on this a little bit, but which female or male leaders have inspired you, and how do they influence you and shape your goals, would you say?
Yeah. So like I say, Michelle Spillane at Paddy, she is a force of nature when it comes to marketing. She is just so brilliant, and I think that the inspiration that I get from her is not just about her incredible genius to entertain a nation. It's also how she is with the team. She's incredibly, incredibly firm with what she needs us to get done, but she is so empathetic to our needs as well. And all of us have different needs. So me as a mum, you know, I've got a family, our office is in Dublin, so I've got to travel over to Ireland from Leeds. She understands completely what I need before I understand it. She knows when I need a break. She knows when I need support. She knows when I can just get on with it. That intuition that she has to read people is a skill like no other that I've seen before. But again, I've worked with so many incredible people at loads and loads of different levels, actually. So the agencies that we work with, the creative agencies, there is a lady called Bobby Gannon that works at our agency, BBH, and I've got to give her a shout out. She's just been promoted, actually, and I'm so proud of her. I've known her for a long, long time.
Amazing.
She's definitely been a partner in crime for me over the years at different places. But just the way she operates is amazing. She's so different to me, and the way that she is with people. Again, like, she's just so bloody smart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to be that smart. How do I get that smart? But like I say, there's so many people along the course of my career that I've worked with, and DOPs on set that are incredible at their job. Like, everyone who has a craft like that, I really, really admire. Like, for someone to be so deep into a craft is amazing. Like, I would love to do that, but I'm not like that.
Yeah.
I never go that deep. I'm everywhere. I'm like omnipresent. But the guys at Paddy now, what they do, the content team, they're like world renowned. That content team, they're like world class in terms of what they do. Like, you go out sometimes in Dublin and the lads will be getting asked for autographs, like, because they're just famous on our socials, and they're so humble about it as well. They're like, oh yeah, sorry, do you mean me? Like, but the work they do is just phenomenal. So yeah, there's so many different people that have shaped my career, and like I say, it doesn't always have to be leadership that does that for you. It can be anyone in your team
100%.
that says something and you think, God, that's so inspiring, and that's so amazing that you've achieved that.
Definitely. And I bet it's quite nice if you're to see your team as well to go on and progress into different things and giving you push, because you've had a part of that. Yeah,
it is. And when you're part of big organisations like Anasda or like Flutter or like Paddy Power, the network that you build is incredible. Yeah. And I think that what is brilliant to see is women supporting women within that network, even years and years after you've left.
100%.
So, you always know you can reach out to someone who you've had contact with to help you out on something. Years could go by and you've got a question about something and you think, oh, I know who'll know that. Not spoken to them for 5 years, but I'll just LinkedIn them and they'll get back to you straight away.
Yeah, you literally pick up as you left.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly. And, it is like, again, Asda was a brilliant place for that. It's like the best network you'll ever have working at Asda, and people go on to do brilliant things. And they'll always look after you no matter what you're doing. So you're always in safe hands with someone at any point.
Girl power. This is it.
It is girl power.
I love it. And what drives you each day, and how do you stay motivated within this role?
It's easy, actually, I think, because we create as a team fantastic work that is infamous, I would say, Paddy Power work. Everyone knows a bit of Paddy Power work. They can always remember something Paddy has just done. Seeing your work in the wild like that and getting that feedback it can be a scary place sometimes, because if you get it wrong, you can get it so wrong because of the tonality of what we do. Yeah. But when you get it right, the feedback that you get and seeing everyone talking about it is the biggest buzz of a brand. And, if you're at an event and your branding is all around you, everyone enjoying themselves within that event and interacting with your brand is an experience like I've never had before. And just creating magic moments that anyone can enjoy.
I love that.
Is like a proper reason to get out of bed.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just great. It's just fun. And there's like stressful times. Like, you don't want to miss a deadline, or, you don't want to offend anyone, or you don't want to mess something up, or, you've run out of time, or you've not got enough resource. Of course, you've got all that stress all the time. But like I say, you can't take yourself too seriously. Yeah. Like, you're just making ads and stuff at the end of the day.
100%. And I bet you learn from the journey, don't you? I bet you learn some things that
you do, and you run into all sorts of people. Yeah. I think that's the other thing as well. Like, just different people within the industry, different talent. It's amazing. It can be an incredibly hard place to be, just because of the pressure that you're under to get stuff done, but equally it's such a good laugh.
Amazing. Yeah. Honestly, I can just, when you're talking about it, I can tell you've just got passionate about it.
Yeah,
It's just
live
amazing.
it,
Amazing. And I bet it certainly rubs off on loads of people as well. So. Have you ever faced moments of this self-doubt or this imposter syndrome that we talk about, and how have you overcome it if you have?
Yeah, do you know what? I saw someone doing an interview on imposter syndrome the other day, and she just went, I don't have that. And I thought, that is brilliant.
Oh my God.
I absolutely love that. She was just like, no, she was like, I've worked too hard to have imposter syndrome. And do you know what? I thought, actually, yes, you're right. I think imposter syndrome and self-doubt are probably two different things. Yeah. Because if you work hard at what you do and you genuinely put your whole self into it, then it's not imposter syndrome. It's just sometimes your confidence that knocks you back. Yeah. And that self-doubt. And I think the biggest crisis of confidence I've ever had is when I first came back from mat leave. And I don't know what it was, but having a baby completely changed me. And I don't know why. I don't know if it was like just a random hormonal imbalance, or whether I didn't feel confident about myself or my body, or I don't know what that was. But I came back and I just thought, oh my God, I'm crap at everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably just the strain that you're under. You know, you come back a different person, you've got different responsibilities. You know, you've got another little life to care for. You've got to balance that. You've got to learn to do that. You don't know where to put yourself. Do I give myself to work? Do I give myself to my child? You're trying to manage the mum guilt that we all talk about.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot going on in that time of your life, and I think that's an incredibly hard place to be. But I think, that's probably the only time I've ever felt that. And then ultimately, I think as my little boy got older, he did start to get like a little bit more independent and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I thought, actually, I'm a really good example for him. I'm working really hard for him. He can see that. He loves that. You know, he was saying, oh, I want to be a director, because he saw my interactions with directors from TV shoots, because we were on Zoom all the time through COVID. And then he's like, oh, I want to be in production. And, you know, now he wants to be in the Marines or whatever he wants to do. But it's flipped from me feeling guilty about what I do at work into actually me working so hard has become an inspiration for him, and I really enjoy that, and I think that's really good.
And that means everything, doesn't it?
It does, honestly. It really does. It really does.
Love that. And also, just touching on the mat leave, I think, regardless whether you have like 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, it's such a long time, and so much changes. So I think that definitely has a part to play, because you come back and you feel like, oh my gosh, is this like, it's completely different.
Yeah, exactly. You feel like everyone's looking at you different.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know why. Like, it's just a weird thing. I don't know if anyone else has ever experienced that, but I would say if you do, no matter what you're feeling during that time, it's probably normal, even though you think it's like totally weird.
It really is. And I do think that us as like females, we do, like, that is something that you have to get used to, because you are completely different from the person you left to the person you come back from maternity. And I think there is, after speaking to a lot of people, they feel the same.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just getting your confidence back.
It is. And it sounds really shallow, but even things like your work wardrobe that you would have had pre-pregnancy to then coming back might not fit you anymore because your body's changed.
So
and then you're like, oh my God, why do I look like a bag of potatoes in this now? Like, what's happened to me? So, you know, you're going through an incredible change, and you've done an incredible thing with your body, and I just think, just embrace it, and like, who cares, really?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that comes with age. I don't know about you, but I think that about me. Like,
it does come
things
with
that
age.
used to bother me in my 20s certainly don't bother me anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Same. You just think, oh my God, I don't even care about that. It's just so weird, isn't it, what you worry about when you're in your 20s? But equally, it is still a worry for you.
Yeah.
So it's a valid worry. So whatever you're worried about at any age, it's valid at that time. Yeah. But like you say, you get through whatever you're trying to get through, you get to a certain age and you just think,
don't care.
I don't care anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Have you always felt supported by your family, friends and colleagues, would you say?
Definitely. I am really lucky in that I've got a husband who is so supportive of my career, and we joke, 'cause I'm like, oh babe, I'm just the money maker for you, aren't I? Like, cause
I love that.
He's never once shunned away from the responsibility around making sure that everything's equal in our house, which I know that's probably normal for loads of people now, but like back in the day or whatever, it wasn't. Like, you know, there was an expectation that, you know, the guys went to work and women would have a job, but they would also have to do all the housework, all the childcare, all the thinking about the school nativity or whatever it is. Actually, he's always shared everything like 50-50 with me, and that has made it so much easier for me to progress in my career, and so for that I'm forever grateful to him. And then, you know, my actual family, I mean, I don't even know if half my family even know what I do or really care. Like, all they care about is everyone being healthy. And happy. And so if there was ever a point where I didn't appear healthy and happy, then obviously they would support me. But like, they wouldn't care if I was like what I did. They don't care if I've got my own business or if I'm working for someone else or if I wanted to be a stay-at-home mum. Like, everyone's chilled out, and that's how it should be. Everyone
Absolutely.
should just be whatever you want to do, as long as you're happy and healthy.
Totally agree.
We don't care what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And having that support, and like you say, times have just changed so much now, haven't they? Because that kind of stereotypical woman's no longer there.
Yeah.
And kind of you've left, you can do whatever.
Do you know what? I had a real magic moment around that the other day at home, and my little boy's in primary school, he's 10. And like, we don't talk about stereotypes or roles or anything like that. Everything's just as it is, and that's fine.
And that's how it should be.
And that's how it should be. You don't really bring stuff up. But he came home from school really annoyed the other day, and I said, "Oh my God, what's happened?" And he said, "Well, one of our teachers started talking about like men's jobs and women's jobs," and he said, "And that's really wrong, Mummy." He said, "Because there is no such thing as men's jobs and women's jobs. It's all just jobs, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my God, that is amazing." And the fact that he came home annoyed about it and thinking about it and like, called it out.
Absolutely. So you should.
And he called it out in the classroom as well.
Love that.
I thought, you can tell his mind, that rebellion is starting to come through already.
Yeah.
But it felt wrong to him.
Yeah.
And I thought, we've instilled that in you, and not in a, every day we're saying this is what should happen. Just came really naturally, and I thought, do you know what, that is really nice that you've thought that, because you're going into your life and that's how you think about it, and that made me really proud of him, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would love to know what the teacher said.
In case she's listening, I don't want to call her out.
No, we'll move on.
Not on International Women's Day. You can't call out another woman.
Oh, I love it. She will definitely, I'm sure she won't say that anymore, though.
Oh, I don't think she cares.
I love it. So having a family, friends, being a leader, how do you kind of balance your personal life and your professional life?
Yeah. I mean, it is hard, I'm not going to lie. I think there's a lot of talk about, as a woman, you can have it all, and you kind of can, but it does push you to the brink sometimes. So again, like, if anyone's feeling that, it's totally normal. You just have to go at your own pace. And I think that I think the key is finding time for yourself as much as everything else. So you've got your work and you've got your family life and your friends, but if you don't have time for yourself, that's when it all starts to fall down. And the way that I coped through an incredibly busy period, and especially through COVID and things like that, where it was really tough, like having to do homeschooling with your 6-year-old, getting them on a Zoom while you're on a Zoom and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that was intense for everyone, right?
Yeah. Well, not everyone. Some people had their life of Riley, some bathing and everything. I certainly was with you.
I know. How awkward putting like your kids on the Zoom, because they didn't know how to go on Zoom.
I know. But also being a teacher, it was hard
work. Really hard. But what I found was running really helped me. And actually, I have run quite a few marathons. Now, I don't actually recommend that to anyone because it's awful, and I have the utmost respect for anyone that keeps doing it over and over again. But running for me was definitely a way of kind of finding something that I could do, that I could achieve. You didn't need any kind of money or equipment. I mean, you needed some nice trainers and stuff, but like, you could just go.
Yeah, absolutely.
At any point you found the time, and that ability to escape and that feeling, and they talk about runner's high and all that kind of stuff. It's all true. It's all, and especially if you do something like a marathon, I think that amazing sense of achievement that's totally separate to anyone else.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've done it on your own.
Yeah.
And that is amazing. Like, when you're at work, you were with a team, family, if you're lucky enough, you've got a team around you, But to go and run and do something like that, I think that just gives you that sense of, I've done this for me.
Amazing, yeah.
Now, I'm not ever going to run a marathon again. I've done enough now.
How many have you done?
Old. I've done 3.
That's amazing.
I've done 3.
And did you just start in lockdown running, or was it something you did?
It was probably before. I probably ran a bit before anyway. Like, I was lucky enough, we had a treadmill at home, and so, like, and you'll know what it's like because you've got kids, but and in that rat race pre-COVID, like, we were getting up at 5:30, setting off work at 6:30, getting home at 6. Then you've got all your jobs and stuff to do. Then you put the kids to bed. So it's getting to like 9, 9:30 or whatever. And then I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do now? So I just started running for like half an hour every night, because it was a little bit of a wind down.
Yeah.
It was something that I could do. It wasn't drinking, which is like the obvious alternative at home, isn't it? And
100%.
so I just kind of got into it. And, you know, I'm not the best runner by any stretch of the imagination, but I love it, so who cares? I run a little bit like Phoebe from Friends, if anyone knows that reference. But
that is probably me, actually.
And again, she's like the idol, isn't she? Because she just didn't care.
Yeah,
and I don't care either. Like, if someone says, oh, you're running weird, who cares?
No, it doesn't
Who
matter.
cares? I'm just running.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did do a little bit of running. Never ran a marathon or even half a marathon. So honestly, hats off to you.
You could do it. You'd do it.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it, and I feel like I had a lot of thinking space. When you run, you can think so much, and it's just. Yeah, it's just brilliant. I mean, my husband's a runner. He's done a few marathons, and he'll just go, right, I'm going for a run, just like a 13K. I'm like, okay, then I would have to train for that. But so we do get it, and it's like, it is something for you, and self-achievement is everything, I think, as well.
It is, and it's brilliant. And I think, you know, you can find communities within running as well. So whether that's an online community or whether it is the marathon day itself. Remember the first marathon I ran? There was a girl at the start line with me, and like everyone's nervous, right? You're really bricking it, if I'm honest. Like, you're so scared. Like, the palpitations are unreal at that point, but you're also freezing cold and shaking, and like everything is going on. And I found this girl, and we ran like the first 21 miles together. We didn't know each other, but we knew we needed each other to kind of get through it. And we didn't even really talk through it or anything that much, but just knowing that she was there by my side was so nice, and we like paced each other. Anyway, then we kind of got separated, and at 21 miles I found someone else that actually needed some help. And there was another girl, and she was like, oh, you've got to help me because I've got this injury and I'm doing it for charity, and I've got to get across the line and all this. And I was like, sure. And she was like, will you run the last bit of it with me? And I was like, yeah, of course, like we'll get through it together. And it turned out it was Kirsty Gallacher.
No way!
Yeah, and so what an incredible experience, because she wanted me to help her, and actually what she gave me is like the biggest boost to get over the line. And I crossed the line with Kirsty Gallacher, and it was going berserk, and like Gabby Logan was tweeting about it, and like my husband was running the
It's given me a bit of a chill. This is
my husband was running the race at the same time, and he'd done it in 2 hours 39 or something like that. Like, he's like an elite runner. Amazing. My time was not 2 hours 39, and he was so proud of himself because he'd done this time. But all our friends and family would just ringing and texting, going, oh my God, Leah's all over the TV.
That is amazing.
He was really pleased and proud that I'd done my first marathon, but he was also slightly gutted that he wasn't getting any of the attention. But bless him, he like loaded it up, and you know, it was so nice. But that's just like girls supporting girls, isn't it? Like
100%.
And you know, that's what it's all about on marathon day. So yeah, I think that spirit of that, it just can be with you all the time. Definitely. Really. Like,
and I bet Kirsty will always remember that moment.
Oh my God, yeah. Like, it is so nice. Like, I ran the marathon, was it last year or year before? Can't remember when it was, the last one. Because time, you can't have any concept of time anymore, do you? Like, I don't know when I did it. But she will message when she knows I'm running, because obviously she follows me on Instagram, and so if she sees me training or posting or whatever, she sends a message, and I think that is lovely. Like, she's got an incredibly busy life herself, and her own children and her own family and her own career and all that kind of thing, and like years on, she will message and say good luck.
Amazing.
Which I think such lovely.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, really nice.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like this is like, I could just sit here all day and talk to you. You've got such amazing stories.
It's got some old. I've done lots of things.
Well, I feel like I'm old, but I've definitely got stories like you. That's amazing. How do you manage stress and avoid burnout whilst maintaining resilience in your career, would you say?
Do you know what? I sometimes don't manage stress and burnout. And I think that is just a natural part of having an ambitious career or an ambitious lifestyle or doing the things that you want to do. I am terrible for doing too much and trying to put too much in, but I always just think, and I know this sounds really morbid, oh my God, I could die tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so you want to live life to the fullest, and as part of that, you are going to at some point burn out, and you think to yourself, oh God, I need to look after myself better, but you put other people first, of course you do. But again, like I say, I think running did help me. The irony is I don't really run anymore because I've got that many injuries now from going too hard, too fast for too long, that I've got to find other ways. But there's so many little ways that you can find 5-10 minutes for yourself, even an hour for yourself. And I think, like I say, like put yourself first whenever you can. And I think that is the way to avoid stress and burnout. But, you know, even... You know, I will do one of those LED face masks.
Oh, I've got one of them.
Like while I'm writing a document out or something. Because do you know what? I'm getting my work done and I've got an LED face mask on at the same time.
How do you see through you? I'm like, I can't see because I have to wear
glasses.
And then the red, like...
it blinds you.
Yeah,
no, it's fine. And the brightness of the screen, like, is brighter than the mask.
I love
so
it.
like, you can still do it, yeah.
I like lie on my bed and just wait for the 10 minutes to...
Yeah. No, it's like all these little hacks, isn't it, that you need to find for yourself. You just, you know, you have to fit them in. Yeah. Otherwise you'll go mad and you will burn out. And I've been at burnout loads of times in my life. But you just have to keep thinking, I do need to put myself first. And that's not selfish.
No.
Because if you burn out, everything around you falls down. And so you've got to find the time.
Definitely.
And it is okay if you do get to burnout, I think. Like, don't beat yourself up about it either, because it happens to everyone. Mm-hmm. And like I say, if you want to be great and you want to have a successful career and you want this, that and the other, then at some point you do have to put the yards in.
You do,
100%.
And,
you know, and people can say whatever they like, you know, about, oh, you can have it all and this, that and the other. I think, well, only if you do the hard work around it and you have a few stumbles on the way.
Just get handed to you, does it?
It doesn't just get handed to you, and unfortunately that is the way of the world. Some people it might get handed to them, but not many. Not many. Everyone's got a backstory about how hard they've worked to get to where they've got to.
Definitely. And I think this is it. This is about like speaking the truth, right? And that is, some people probably don't say it, but we all have experienced that. Probably throughout our careers.
Yeah, exactly. And it's okay.
Yeah. And life as well. It's like not even just careers, like you just want to be like good at everything, don't you? And
you do.
It's hard sometimes.
You do, and you can have meltdowns about the smallest of things as well because you've not got them right. And again, that's like okay.
Yeah. Some things that bother you one day certainly won't bother you another day, will they? So
no, certainly not. It just depends on how stressed and busy you are, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, even lighting like little candles and stuff for yourself, like just do something nice that takes 2 minutes and it just kind of centers you again, I would say. Yeah,
definitely. I'm with you.
Yeah.
And what's the most important lessons that you would have said you've learned throughout your career?
Great question. I think first of all, probably going back to your point around the energy that you bring to something, and being yourself. Like, don't try and be anyone else because it will come undone. You will come unstuck. It's too hard to maintain. And ultimately, I think being fair to people, showing warmth, showing empathy, like, can I say don't be a dick? Like,
absolutely.
Like, just don't be a dick, because ultimately you are going to run into, even if it's for tactical reasons, you're going to run into these people at some point over the course of your career again. And so I think being fair, honest, warm, showing people empathy, showing people support, doing the right thing for people is something that I've learned, not always through experience, I've got to say as well. It's not like someone's done that and I've gone, oh yeah, definitely be nice. You learn from the people who aren't nice to you in your career or who aren't fair, who don't show you empathy. And I think seeing that kind of leadership makes you think, I'm not going to be that.
Yeah.
I think that is always a lesson to learn as well. So that's probably one of the biggest things for me is be nice, be kind, be true to yourself, be honest, put the work in. You don't get anywhere if you don't put the work in. There's no shortcuts to anything.
No.
I think you do have to kind of go, even through school, uni, if you're going to do that, like, make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Like, don't mess it up. You don't have to put too much pressure on yourself. Everything's not the be all and end all. But certainly putting the hard yards in to get where you want to be is really, really, really important. Taking time to think as well. So not being a busy fool. I think you don't have to kind of be every minute, like, super busy all the time. There's going to be times when you are, because you've got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
But just allowing yourself some time to think about a situation, I think, is helpful to everything. It helps you manage a situation in terms of getting to the right outcome for the business or for yourself, but it also helps you manage the people around you so that you do the right thing by them as well. So yeah, taking time to think. So whether that's in a work capacity, in a selfish capacity, whatever it might be, I think do carve that time. And then I think don't be fooled into thinking that every girl is going to support you as well, right? So if you're a girl's girl, and you think that every woman is on your side, I know this is International Women's Day, but actually not every woman is on your side.
I've heard this throughout the talks as well.
Yeah, there can be women that are really detrimental to your career, and I've also encountered that. But what you've got to think is just let them get on with that. Don't change yourself. No. Don't suddenly think, oh, I've got to be this cutthroat to get through, or I've got to be this deceitful or tactical or strategic or political or whatever it might be. Don't do that. Just let them do their own thing. Yeah. And they will come unstuck at some point. 100%. Learn from it. And like I said, it all comes back to being honest Definitely. About who you are. Don't feel like you've got to fix their crown if they're not fixing yours. Like, it's fine.
So
totally
true.
Fine. Yeah.
So true. And like you just said, learn from it. I think you want to adapt your own management style. Everyone's different, but kind of pick what you like from each other.
Exactly. Pick the best bits out of anyone that you encounter.
Definitely.
And that's actually a really good point, I think, Vicki, because throughout the course of my development, that's probably what I've done to go, right, okay, who are the people that I really admire? And what are they doing? What's that trait that they've got that I can try and emulate? Like, you're never going to be them, right? Because everybody's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there are some little traits, or there's some little things that you can pick out. And I remember one leader that I had told me to always take time to understand what everyone else is doing. So no matter where you are, take time to think about their craft and spend time with them and show an interest. Because everyone will love you more for it, and you will also learn so much more about the industry that you're in. And so I've always done that ever since.
I love that.
And it is great. It is really good, to find out what everyone else is doing. So
and that means so much to them as well. Like, for you to take time out to do that, no matter what level you are. Yeah, I think that's amazing.
Yeah. I think 100%. It's good, and you learn loads. Like, you don't know it all, dear. There's so much I don't know.
Yeah.
Even within marketing, like the advancements in marketing and AI and everything that's happening. Like, I don't know it all yet. Yeah. So, finding out as much as you can, I think, is really, really, really important. Yeah. Really being a student of your craft or your business, I think, is important.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And then what would you say defines success, both personally and professionally, would you say?
It's different for everyone, right? Some people think it's money. Some people think it's title. And everyone likes both of those things, like, if they're completely honest with themselves, and that's okay. I think to go after that's great. I think for me, like I said, I think it's my health and happiness, which comes from different things like financial freedom or whatever it might be. So it all kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, success is a funny thing because it can mean different things on different days. Sometimes I'm like, well, thank God I got through this day. Yeah. And that's a success. So yeah, I'm a bit like, if I make it through the week unscathed, I'm okay. But definitely, I think for me, I don't know, like, it's funny, isn't it? Like, seeing my little boy grow up into something that he wants to do and is amazing. Like, when you do that thing when you, like, say something at the same time you say jinx and you make a wish. Yeah. Like, whenever I do that with him, I'm always like, I hope he has the most amazing family and he's happy and healthy and he's and all these things every single time.
I love that.
And they have to say black cat so that it comes true or whatever. Yeah. But I think that is success for me, is that I've done that, and that, you can't really ask for more than that, can you?
No, not at all.
Somebody that you've made.
I know. Absolutely.
Like, just doing an amazing thing is just, I don't know, that's like...
I totally agree. I mean, I'm a mum of 3 now. feel exactly the same. And I think, I look back at them sometimes. It's always when I check on them when they're asleep. I just think, they're just, even when they've been like rat bags of the day, I'm like, oh my God, I could blow.
They're always at the best when they're asleep.
I know, they are. But it's like a proud moment for me. I just look at them thinking, just
I know, and you're like, they're so gorgeous.
And I've done well. They're like, I can't believe I made them. And
I know. It is really nice. So you can have all the success in your career that you want. And again, like, it's a choice, isn't it? Like, some people don't have children, and that's also okay. Like, if that's the path that you choose and success for you means, like, you know, different. Your own brand and a mansion. Like, you know, of course I'd love all those things. Of course I'd love, like, fancy things as well. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, that,
I think
what
we just have
is,
to... absolutely. Like you say, everything's different. You have to kind of give yourself a range check. This is what I've got now, and this is what I'm happy for, and stuff. So we don't need all that sometimes, do you?
No, but it is also nice to, like, win an award or be recognised, or you know, and it's nice. And I guess that's what, like I was saying about my boss now, like, she's brilliant at taking those moments to recognise what you've done. Like, we had a bit of a situation this week, and she's actually been out on holiday, and I was kind of loath to tell her because she was, like, on the beach, and I was like, well, I'm going to have to, because she needs to know. So I was like, oh, you know, this has happened, but don't worry, we've done X, Y, Z. And she was like, oh my God, you've handled this superbly, like, really well done. This is like perfect. And do you know what? That was success for me in that moment, because it wasn't the praise that she was giving me, it was the fact that I kind of knew I'd sorted something out so that she didn't get so stressed.
Love that. So you come with a solution to the problem, where you came with the problem.
So I was like, oh, do you know what? I've made her life maybe a little bit easier today.
Amazing.
Like, and that was nice. That was nice to know. Because she works super hard as well, and you want to make sure that she's, like, looking after herself. So... it was nice to have that, because I thought, she can get back to her wine now.
I know. Get back to sunbathing. I love it. What is next for you, do you think, or would you say?
Oh, God, right. I've never really known what's next at any point in my career. Like I say, I was kind of broadly knew what I was going to do and the path that I was going to take, but how that shaped, I had no idea. But I would love to work on a film. Like, that's what I want to do. I think my moment may have passed, but if I could go to Hollywood and work on a massive production.
Oh, God, I love this,
And, like, you know, I don't know if anyone's seen The Fall Guy, which was the remake of the old show. Obviously, I used to watch that when I was a kid, given I also wanted to be a stuntman. And when they remade that, like, I was just like, oh, my God, I wish I had made that. And I know it's like a stupid film, obviously.
No,
like, it's not got any real deep meaning. But so good. And, like, even all the credits at the end where they show the stuntman for Ryan, and, like, honestly, it was quite meta, that bit. But I would love to do that. I would love to be... I'll never be a female director. I couldn't do that, but definitely I'd want to be a producer on something.
Amazing. You never know.
You never know. You never know. One of these
to...
days, somebody might call me and say, "Do you want to be a producer on this?" I mean, it would be a long shot.
Someone might be watching this now.
They might, They might be like, "Oh, we'll take her. She seems like she gets muddle away through it somehow." Just being nice to everyone.
I love that.
But that is my dream job. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. I might have to start my own production company. Do a bit of a Reese Witherspoon on it, but you know, I love it. You never know.
Absolutely. Set your bar high. Absolutely. And then this is just a little question at the end. So my daughter Poppy's 14. She's about to choose her choices for GCSEs. Anything you'd like, what advice would you give to her if she was sitting here?
Oh, Poppy, it's such an important time of your life. What I would say to Poppy, first of all, I would say, don't let boys be a distraction to you.
I've already told her that.
Exactly. Second of all, I would say work hard, but don't put too much pressure on yourself. Because GCSEs aren't the end of everything. However, they are important because you might need them for a job, but it's the discipline that revising for them and doing well gives you, and the proud moment that you get from actually doing well is really good as well. So 100%. They don't mean everything. It's, you know, it's not the end of the world if you did fail something, but work hard and try your best, because if you've tried your best, you'll have no regret. And I think that kind of goes for anything that you do in your life. I would say, I think social media obviously is such an incredible influence now. If you're 14, like, don't look at someone else and think, oh my God, they've got this, that, and the other, because it's all a sham.
Yeah.
But it takes you a long time to work that out. But it definitely all is. And being in the marketing industry, I would say, Poppy, please don't believe anything that you see on social media with any of these like beauty accounts and all that kind of thing, because it's marketing to you, and it's giving you a lifestyle that you think you might want. And do you know what? You don't need it. It's not the be all and end all of everything. No. So just do you.
Yeah, so
you
true
do
to yourself.
you.
Yeah.
Be kind to your friends. Look out for your friends. I'd say as well. It could be an incredibly stressful time for your besties and like anyone else that you know. Like look out for them and ask them how they're doing, because it might open up a conversation between you all, where you're all feeling nervous about the same thing, and then 100%. You all go into it feeling fine. So, you're not on your own. Like, everyone's going through it, and everyone has been through it. So,
I totally agree. That is so important. And also, like, I'm still besties. I've got 3 besties who I'm still besties since I was 4, and they know everything. That's, like, incredible, isn't it? You go through life together, and they, like, literally know everything. So I do think that's amazing.
Yeah, I do. So good luck, Poppy.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you. That's it. That's, like, a wrap. So absolutely amazing, honestly.